So CNN went and found Natalie Harp's brother, Preston Harp, and this story is taking on an incredible life of its own. And this is probably one of the most disturbing accounts about Natalie Harp. Natalie Harp, of course, is this executive assistant to Donald Trump who's leaving him what are effectively love letters. And I don't say that as a joke. They're with hearts and my heart is yours and all this wacky stuff that we're going to look at. So CNN's Aaron Burnett interviews Preston Harp. And Preston Harp is quite a character, I must say, an idiosyncratic figure, who is what we might call him. And Preston Harp describes really a fixation with presidents that Natalie Harp has that started when she was a teenager. And it is incredible to see. Let's take a listen to some of the things that Preston Harp said, and then we'll talk about them. And it is really something else.
So what is your reaction to this? Does this sound like her, or the person that you knew well, your sister?
Yeah. I mean, basically, I'd say since she was like 16, she's had an obsession with gosh, how do I explain this?
This is great.
She's written letters to other presidents. Let me put it that way. And so like her dream came true finally.
Oh, interesting. So you're saying that she actually was very aware of politics, right? And that she had written other presidents' letters. Do you happen to know which ones or what they were about or anything, Preston, that you would be able to share here?
I didn't see the letter, but George Bush, obviously, during the Iraq War.
Now, by the way, I don't even know about that. That Natalie Harp would have been really young during the Iraq War. I don't know if she would have been sending letters to George W. Bush. It's kind of a weird thing.
And did anything ever come of that? I mean, did the White House ever respond or anything, or she just sort of sent a letter?
No, they never responded.
All right. So anyway, it's quite an interesting family. And of course, Natalie Harp is very relevant to the state of American politics right now, as disturbing as it is, because she is not like the random White House employee. This is one of Donald Trump's closest aides. She's at his side all the time. She's running his Truth Social account. She's acting like an accelerator rather than a brake pedal on Trump's worst instincts. And they call her the human printer because she has a portable printer she uses to print out articles and social media posts that portray Trump positively or reinforce what he believes. And she has a massive amount of influence over what Trump says, what information gets to Trump. And if someone gets to Natalie Harp and goes, show Trump this and not that, she can effectively gatekeep and manipulate what Donald Trump is seeing and thus what he is doing. And so now her brother Preston is saying she has an unhealthy obsession with Donald Trump. And arguably, it goes even beyond Trump himself. Now, writing letters to presidents is not inherently alarming. Teenagers do write to elected officials, and politically engaged people contact the White House. That doesn't really prove anything. But what Preston is talking about here is this pattern where powerful political leaders are kind of becoming objects of personal devotion to Natalie Harp. And with Trump, it's become central to her life and central to her career. She got Trump's attention to begin with after crediting his right to try legislation with helping save her life during cancer treatment. And that is there are articles disputing the accuracy of that story, but okay. She then went and worked at the far right wing One American News Network, OAN. She then became a member of Trump's staff, and then she is just with him all the time right now. And she leaves these admiring notes for Trump. You're all that matters to me. And Trump has praised her also, saying, she loves me. She'll never leave me. Everybody else is ultimately going to leave me to try to get money. Now, then CNN sort of mentions a story to Preston Harp that I guess he hadn't heard, which is that according to two sources, Natalie Harp was about to get in a car with Trump to go from Trump Tower to a courthouse back when he was in the middle of his criminal trial. And staffers said to Natalie, hey, there's no seats available in the motorcade. And so she then got in the trunk of the car. There are people trying to debunk this by going, SUVs don't really have trunks. And it is true, SUVs, it's sort of a hatch. It's open. But we all know that then she just got in the hatch. Like, you're focusing on trunk at this point. Okay, so Aaron Burnett mentions this story to Preston Harp, and he's like, whoa, that's some weird stuff.
Two sources, Preston, are telling CNN that your sister was involved, okay, back in October 2023, right? The context here is Donald Trump's motorcade was going to leave Trump Tower for a court appearance, okay? And they were all getting into the motorcade. Oh, yeah. There was sort of a screaming match about who was getting in what car, and it turned out that there wasn't room for Natalie. So she insisted, she said no. Trump had personally asked her to come to this court appearance, so she needed to be in the car. Now, according to these sources, the end result is that your sister jumped into the trunk of one of the motorcade vehicles to go to the court appearance in Lower Manhattan.
That's really funny. I didn't even know about that.
I mean, what is your reaction to that? I mean, you're laughing, but I mean, is it funny or what? I mean, you know her, so that's why.
I'm sorry. It's actually kind of sad. That's obsession. That's like an unhealthy obsession with someone. If you're going to jump into the trunk of their car, like.
All right, so this story really taking on a life of its own. I should mention this brother, Preston Harp, is reportedly estranged from her. So even, his whole interpretation of everything, his views, I don't know, he may have other motivations. Who the hell knows? But this is a story that is really getting into an institutional concern. That is, maybe Trump's having an affair with her, maybe he isn't. Maybe she's wacky and but the issue here is that she seems intensely devoted to Trump in a way that is almost like a smitten obsession. And she has extraordinary access to Trump. She's manipulating and controlling his private communications. She's a gatekeeper to the information he consumes. And she's playing up Trump's worst instincts to escalate and threaten escalation with Iran and this and that, gladly typing up the Truth Social posts. And she's curating Trump's media diet. She's transmitting messages between Trump and political figures. And so this is someone that she is more than an eccentric personality in Trump's entourage. Let's put it that way. She's shaping Trump's understanding of events and filtering out information she doesn't think Trump wants to hear. The trunk story is bizarre. It's kind of a quirky story. We know that Donald Trump has always valued personal loyalty over traditional qualifications. And what he does is surround himself with people who praise him and validate his grievances and don't tell him anything that he's doing wrong. Natalie Harp has sort of combined that Trump likes having young women around him, unconditional loyalty with complete and total proximity and influence, and the suggestion from her brother, who's estranged, and we can sort of, take what he says with a grain of salt. The suggestion here is that the devotion to Trump predates getting the job. She has this pattern reaching years back of wanting to be attached to Trump in some way. Now, political enthusiasm is not a mental illness. Writing to presidents is not evidence of instability. Even the motorcade allegation, it might be like, listen, she needed to get to the courthouse. It was a wacky situation. Jumping in a taxi wasn't going to get her there, so she got in the hatch of the SUV. But the totality of the story raises some real questions about judgment and boundaries and access to the highest levels of the American government. And the story is, this aide controls what Trump sees, what he posts, who reaches him, and her unwavering personal devotion to Trump makes her really dangerous, but also what, as far as Trump is concerned, probably makes her the most qualified. Now let's dig a little deeper psychologically as to what all of this may really be about. Most scams do not feel random. Scammers may know your name, your city, a relative, where you work, and suddenly the message that you get sounds a lot more believable. And a lot of that information is found online, and it's just sitting there waiting for bad actors to use it against you. This is why our sponsor, Incogni, works to remove all of that information from hundreds of websites and databases that have it, so that scammers have nothing to work with. Incogni automatically sends removal requests to hundreds of sites that have your personal info. They will follow up again and again until it's gone. My favorite feature is custom removals with the unlimited plan. You find your info anywhere strange directory, obscure website, not on their master list of databases. You submit it, a link and a screenshot, and they will work to get it removed for you. Scammers and spammers can't bother you if they can't find you. And I am getting no spam calls anymore. And I've always been using Incogni. I would recommend it to anybody. Go to incogni.com/Pakman. Use the code Pakman for 60% off the annual plan. The link is in the description.